we're going to be going for a lower body workout. We're going to be using some of my favorite exercises that I like to do. And I'll share some of the highlights from this session. Let's go. So with this movement, guys, you really want to make sure that you're keeping your chest up. Make sure your back is nice and straight as well. And try and get full range of motion when you're bringing your legs all the way back in the movement. We're kind of doing a bit of a set intensifier during this movement. So essentially, it's a free drop set we're doing. So you hit your first initial 15 reps, then you drop the weight immediately, then you go down to 10, then you drop the weight again and you go into 12. Picking a way that you're going to struggle to get the final remaining reps. So let's say you're trying to get to 12 reps, you want to struggle to get the final 2 reps in. And this is really where we're hitting those glutes hard. And this is a really ridiculously effective exercise. When I did my list ranking, honestly, this could have gone so much higher up in the list. This exercise, this is actually one of my favorite exercises to do. First is a warm-up. When I'm doing my sets, I always try to make sure I take into failure on the final set of whatever exercise I'm doing, just to make sure I'm maximizing potential muscle growth. As you can see, Amy's really pushing herself there. She's probably had a couple more in the tank, but we're going to take things back for a second. I want to speak a little bit about exercise number 1 in your workout routine that you're following, and speaking about the warm-up side of things. A lot of people will overcomplicate the warming up side of working out, and they'll feel the need to do all these crazy stretches, all these crazy cardio routines, when in reality what you're doing is you're burning for your energy before you've even started like working out. So of course your performance isn't going to be at its absolute best if you're at like 80% compared to when you're like 100%. So guys, don't overcomplicate it and do all this crazy thing that's going to take away your energy. Simply pick an exercise, for example, like the leg extension. Pick a weight that you know you can comfortably do 15 to 20 reps prior to like your working set. So you're going to do that maybe 3 to 4 times. It's going to be more than enough depending on how strong you are. The more stronger you are, obviously the more longer your warm-up sets are probably going to take to get to that peak weight. But yeah, that's what you can do. And it'll be really effective in terms of making sure you're nice and warm up, so you don't have to worry about injuring yourself or anything. Just don't be stupid with the weights you're picking for those warm-up sets. As you can see, that set was a killer. Next up is the barbell squat, one of my favorite movements to do in terms of hitting the lower body. So even though we've already done a nice little warm-up prior to doing the barbell squat, I will always start with just the bar, just to kind of actually perform the movement itself, to get a bit of a feel for it before adding on a ton of heavy weight. Because last thing you want to do is go from doing literally no weight to also then 180 kilos. You're asking to injure yourself. So start to the bottom up. To the squat, that you guys can see, we've already done a set or so, and like a warm up with the bar, and also trying to explain the technique to you guys as well. So we've done quite a few exercises, but we're going to still try and maximize our lifting in this exercise. I'm probably going to go up to maybe 140. How much are you going to try and go up to?
Like 50 kg? 60 maybe?
50 to 60 kg Amy's going to try and go up to. What do you usually do?
Probably about 15. Just say that.
50 kg, because obviously she's on her own. But when you're typically working with someone, you do push yourself a lot more. So hopefully she'll be able to get 50 to 60 kg with nice depth as well. Because do you struggle when it comes to getting deeper?
Yeah. If I go too heavy, then I just end up doing like a half squat.
And that's something you want to avoid in your squat. You're going to avoid doing these half squats. You're not going to obviously maximize targeting your legs, and most times your ego lifted. So make sure you are getting a nice form. Let's get it. Here's Amy's effort for the squats. She definitely could have gone a little bit lower down when doing it, but seeing it's a new weight, you can be a little bit hesitant sometimes because you know you might not be able to get back up if you go all the way down. But guys, don't be afraid to fail, especially if you got the safety bars on. Don't be afraid to test to see if you can actually go parallel instead of being hesitant about it. Because you might surprise yourself. You might not be able to get as many reps, because obviously when you're going all the way down in terms of hitting parallel, it makes a massive difference. Those couple inches to hit parallel is game changing. But don't be afraid to lower the weight, guys. Work in our form and work on your overall technique, okay? So I got about 140 in the bar here. I did a squatting session earlier in the week. So this weight moved a little bit slow compared to how it usually would for me, but it wasn't too bad. Especially training in front of no mirror is kind of weird. Next, onto the hip thrust machine. Honestly, if you really want to get some bigger glutes as a guy or a girl, get yourself doing some hip thrusts, barbell hip thrusts, machine hip thrusts. They're great exercise to build those glutes. You can really load up the weight as well and easily progressive overload every single week. Even as little as 1.25, try and add some extra weight, get those extra reps, and it will make a difference. What's your feedback for the workout? Any exercise that you felt the most, or?
Leg extensions were painful, and then from the hip abductors as well. The fact that the machine here in this gym is really good. But yeah, those are probably the worst. And then the squats I felt.
Yeah, the squat's one of the most taxing exercises when it comes to hitting the lower body. It's ridiculously effective for me personally. When you're doing the movement itself, you might necessarily feel your glutes, but afterwards, it really will hit hard. That's it, guys. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe for more.